went off trail to find a tent site. Now I have to find the trail again. It's just this nice big open space up here. It's got me around here somewhere. Yeah, I remember these branches and that log next to that bush. Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. I'm on break number 1, and one thing that I do on my breaks after I've enjoyed the view is I'll just look at the ground right next to me really intensely and see what's going on. So it's a kind of boring patch of dirt, but if you really zoom in, right, there's this cool plant. He's got his own little bark and rock and then another rock. And this guy has a plant buddy, and then this one is struggling, I think, and then there's this random wood that's, oh, it's actually like quite buried in there. That's a tiny little world, and then the world over here gets big because there's like this big plant, and then they have an even bigger, more interesting piece of bark, and then whatever, is this bark? Yeah, that's bark too. Going through a lot of this stuff, which has some kind of thorns. Bird. This is Holcomb Creek down in there. Oh, he's blue. Okay, I have a little pimple forming, and sometimes I get acne in the lower part of my face when I'm hiking, but this time I'm going to try pimple patches and see if that works. Okay, we'll see if this works. I probably smiled too much for this to stay on. Ooh, I think these are called snow plants. Oh, they're so big. The partially charred bark on this tree is really cool. This tiny plant has produced these huge pods. I think this thing is called a velvet ant. This part's a bit washed out. Not sure where the trail is after that. Oh, is this it? A little something swimming in there. It looks like he's swimming really hard. Water skipper. Oh, there he goes. Where'd he go? Break number 4. And this time I have a river right next to me. A creek. Holcomb Creek. It's got a worm. They're big. I'm gonna walk right through them. Same time. They're big though. Ow. We've been switching back and forth between the very lush areas around Holcomb Creek and then higher up here where it's much more arid and exposed. Green and cool and shaded. Hot. So sometimes people will see a thru hiker pushing high miles and think, oh, that's so pointless. It's just ego trying to be faster than the next person, and like, oh, I did 33 miles, look how cool I am. But in reality, thru hikers are motivated by far more powerful factors, primarily food. So let's take a hiker who is capable of 25-mile days, is trying to do 22s, and they look at their map and find out that in 45 miles, there's a restaurant right off trail and it closes at 3 p.m. And they can't get there today because that's 45 miles, but if they do 2 22s, they also won't get there in time before it closes at 3 p.m. the next day. So they think to themselves, oh, well, I'll just do a 28-mile day today and then a 17-mile day tomorrow, and then I can get my food. And now they're a hiker that does 28-mile days, and it's as easy as that. And then the next time, there's something else that's more motivating, like getting into town and having a 0 day. So anyway, I found myself in a bit of a quandary because this morning I scoped out a potential tent site for tonight. I thought I was like 14 and a half, 15 miles away. And then later I noticed there's a spur trail that goes into Cedar Glen where there's a malt shop and burgers and shakes. But I was like, ah, no, it's 3.5 miles into town, 3.5 back. There's no way, I can't do that. Then I learned that you only have to hike 1.7 miles and they'll pick you up on trail and take you to the malt shop because they're so nice. And it started seeming really doable, and I was like, oh, well, that would maybe put me at a 17-mile day, which I've been doing 16, so that's just about right. And then I started to really, really want a burger and shake. And just recently I realized that my math was wrong because I did it at 5 a.m. and it's actually would turn out to be an 18.8 mile day at minimum, plus maybe coming back a little bit up the trail if I needed. And I know I shouldn't, but tomorrow's going to be a shorter day to the hot springs where I'll hang out for a long time, and then I'll hang out a long time in the morning and do a shorter day, and I'm feeling really strong. I think I'm gonna do it. I am still listening to my body. I'm just going to listen to the stomach and the heart this time. This is another old tent site with the creek right there. Break number 5. There's been a few blowdowns on this trail. Looks like this is an under. Oh, stuck. Yeah, okay. I think that might have been the last of the nice shady creek ravine. There's so many yellow and white flowers in here. I think it's flannel bush and Chianotis. It is 3:30 p.m. and I am 3.7 miles away from getting picked up to go get burgers. And I think I'm gonna make it, and my body feels really good. That is Deep Creek Bridge. Okay, I just crossed Deep Creek. That way goes the PCT, but this way goes to Splinter's Cabin and burgers. This is Splinter's Cabin. Okay, this road will lead to a gate where we can call the malt shop owner and hopefully he'll send a car to pick us up so we can get our burgers. Burgers, 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 burgers. That looks so good.
I'm gonna cut that.
Wow. Okay, that burger was so good. It was worth it. I mean, I think my body feels really good, so I don't think I had to pay a price for it in that way. Also, I have my hood on because there's a lot of mosquitoes. But the malt shop, it was like a 1.5 mile road walk to Third Gate, capitalized, and then they pick you up and then they drop you off right back there. But since I had already done a bunch of miles, I couldn't get back to trail, so I'm camped on what I hope is an abandoned road. Oh, and the malt was so amazing. Yeah, I would do that. I would make that choice again. I did all of my physical therapy exercises and stretches, and then I will find out tomorrow how I did.